Hi everyone, Michelle Fixit here today. We are going to be working on comprehensive curriculum of basic skills, everything you need for 5th grade success, math, reading comprehension, English, and writing. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip over to page 15. And let's go ahead and start our work. So the first thing you want to do whenever you are working on a workbook is you want to put your name on the top of the page. So my name is Michelle Fixit, so I'm going to put Michelle Fixit. Alright, so this is from the reading chapter, and this one says, writing, verb forms. Directions. In the following story, some of the verbs are missing. Write the proper form of the verbs shown adding ed or ing when necessary. So this is ed and this is ing. Yesterday I was brag to my brother. Yesterday I was bragged to my brother. Yesterday I was bragging to my brother. Which one do you think it is? I think it's bragging. B-R-A-G-G-I-N-G. Bragging. All right, and let's go to number 2. Oh, not number 2. So, yesterday I was bragging to my brother about how much I helping our mother. Which one do you think it is? Do you think that they were bragging to their brother about how much they helped or helping? I think it's helped. Yesterday I was bragging to my brother about how much I helped our mother around the house. I had scrubbed or scrubbing the kitchen floor. I think it's scrubbed. I had scrubbed the kitchen floor. So scrub is spelled S-C-R-U-B-B-E-D. Scrubbed. Wiped or wiping of all the counters. So do you think it's wiped or do you think it's wiping? I think it's wiped. So wiped would be spelled W-I-P-E-D. Wiped. Wiped off all the counters and rinsed or rinsing out the sink. Well, let's start the sentence again and see what makes most sense. I had scrubbed the kitchen floor, wiped off all the counters, and rinsed out the sink. R-I-N-S-E-D. Rinsed. I was poured or pouring. I was pouring the dirty water out of the bucket when our mother came in. Pouring is P-O-U-R-I-N G. Pouring. She looked around the kitchen and smiled or smiling. She looked around the kitchen and smiled. She looked around the kitchen and smiling. I think it's smiled. S-M-I-L-E-D. Who did all this work? She asked or asking. Who did all this work? She asked. Who did all this work? She asking. Asked. A-S-K-E-D. I was getted. I was getting. I was getted ready to tell her what I had done when my brother. I was getting ready to tell her what I had done when my brother. I was getting. G-E-T-T-I-N-G. I was getting ready to tell her what I had done when my brother interrupted or interrupting me. I was getting ready to tell her what I had done when my brother interrupted me. I was getting ready to tell her what I had done when my brother interrupting. I think it's interrupted. And that is spelled I-N-T-E-R-R-U-P-T-E-D. When my brother interrupted me. We both did. We've been worked very hard. We both did. We've been working very hard. Which do you think it is? We both did. We've been working very hard. So W-O-R-K-I-N-G. We've been working very hard. He's not told the truth, I said to Mom. He's not telling the truth, I said to Mom. Which do you think it is? I think it's he's not telling the truth, I said to Mom. Telling is T-E-L-L-I-N-G. Telling. I did everything. My brother glared at me. I did everything. My brother glaring at me. Which do you think it is? I think it's I did everything. My brother glared at me. Glared is G-L-A-R-E-D. My brother glared at me. Is that true? Asked Mom. My brother looked at the floor. My brother looking at the floor. Which do you think it is? I think it's my brother looked at the floor. Looked is spelled L-O-O-K-E-D. My brother looked at the floor and nodded. My brother looked at the floor and nodding. Which do you think it is? I think it's my brother looked at the floor and nodded. Nodded is spelled N-O-D-D-E-D. Nodded. He was thinked about all the trouble he would get into. He was thinking about all the trouble he would get into. Which do you think it is? He was thinking about all the trouble he would get into. Thinking is spelled T-H-I-N-K-I-N-G. Thinking. He was thinking about all the trouble he would get into. Instead, Mom smiled again. Well, that's okay, she said. The rest of the house needs to be cleaned. The rest of the house needs to be cleaning too. Which do you think it is? I think it's the rest of the house needs to be cleaned. Cleaned is spelled C-L-E-A-N-I-N. Oh. The rest of the house needs to be cleaned. Michelle Fix-It made a boo-boo. And children, this is why we don't use a pen. We use a pencil. So cleaned is spelled C-L-E-A-N-E-D. 2. You can get started right away, or you can get starting right away. Which do you think it is? You can get started right away. Started is S-T-A-R-T-E-D. You can get started right away. And then this little gentleman says, what's your verb form? So now we're going to switch over to the next page, which is page number 16. See the bottom? And this is still part of the reading chapter. And so we put our name at the top of the page. And my name is Michelle Fix-It. M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E-F-I-X-I-T. Make sure you put your name at the top of the page. And this one says, spelling, math plurals. To make most nouns plural, add S. When a noun ends with S, SS, SH, CH, or X, add ES. Bus turns into buses with an ES. Cross turns into crosses with an ES. Brush turns into brushes with an ES. church turns into churches with an ES. Box turns into boxes with an ES. When a noun ends with a consonant and Y, change the Y to I and add ES. Berries or berry turns into berries with an IES. For some words, insteading of what? For some words, insteading. For some words, instead. They made a boo-boo. Maybe I'm wrong. Michelle Fixit doesn't know everything, but I think it should say, for some words, instead of adding S or ES, the spelling of the word changes. Man turns into men, so they switch the A for an E. Mouse turns into mice, so they took out the OUS and they changed it to IC. So we have one mouse and then we have a bunch of mice. Directions. Write the correct plural or singular form of the words in these math problems. So even though this is reading, they're calling it math. Write whether the problem requires addition. Here's where the math comes in. An A, subtraction, an S, multiplication, an M, or division, a D. The first one has been done for you. So, number 1 says 3 box, and they turned it into boxes, so they added an ES, minus 2 box, and they turned that into boxes with an ES, equals 1 box. And then the S is for subtraction. So number 2 says to supply. So we have to turn supply into a plural. So if we go back up to the top and we see we ends with a Y, and the top says, if you look for the Y, change the Y to I and add ES. So supply would turn into supplies. S U P P L I E S, supplies, plus 5 supplies. So we use the same way that we made this one into a plural to make this one into a plural. So we spell it S U P P L I E S, supplies. And then we have to do our math. So if you add 2 supplies to 5 supplies, what do you get? 5, 6, 7. 7. So it's 7 supplies. S U P P L I E S. 7 supplies. And then what kind of math did we use? Did we use addition and we would use an A? Did we use subtraction and use an S? Did we use multiplication and use an M? Or division and use a D? Well, if we look right here, that's a plus sign, and a plus sign belongs to addition. So it's an addition sign. So we put A for addition. And number 3, for copy. So this one ends with a Y. So we go back up to the top and we see what the top has to say about a Y. Y, change the Y to I and add ES. So we need to change the Y to an I and add ES. So copy in the plural form turns into copies. And copies is spelled C-O-P-I-E-S. Copies. Times 2 copy. So copy needs to turn into copies with an IES, and we're going to put that right here. So C-O-P-I-E-S, copies. So if we have 4 times 2, how many copies do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 copies. So make an 8. And then copies. C-O-P-I-E-S. 8 copies. Now, did we use did we use addition for an A? Did we use subtraction for an S? Did we use multiplication for an M? Or did we use division with a D? If you look at your sign, that's your multiplication sign. So we use multiplication with an M. Number 4, 6 class. So we need to make this a plural form. So if we go up to the top, what does it say? We have 2 S's. It ends with 2 S's. So we look for 2 S's, and it says, when a noun ends with SS, add ES. So bus turns into buses, cross turns into crosses, brush turns into brushes, church turns into churches, box turns into boxes. So we need to add an ES. So class turns into classes, and it's spelled C-L-A-S-S-E-S. Classes. Divided by 2 class. So divided by 2 classes. C-L-A-S-S-E-S. 2 classes. So if we have 6 classes and we divide them by 2, how many classes do we have? If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you have 6 classes and you divide them by 2, then we have 3. Three classes. C-L-A-S-S-E-S. And did we use addition with an A, subtraction with an S, multiplication with an M, or division with a D. If we look at our sign is a division sign, so we use a D. Number 5. 5 factory. Factory ends with Y. So let's go up to the top and see what it says about Y. Y, change the Y to I and add ES. And their example is berry turning into berries. So, factory turns into factories. F, A, C, T, O, R, I, E, S. Factories. Minus 3 factory. So we have to turn factory into the plural form, which is factories. So we spell that F, A, T, O, R, I, E, S. And here's our math. 5 factories minus 3 factories. So if you take 3 factories away from 5 factories, how many factories do you have? 2 factories. F, A, C, T, O, R, I, E, S. That one's hard to smush in. And what kind of math did we use? So we look at our sign, and did we use an addition sign for A, subtraction with an S, multiplication with an M, or D for division? This is a subtraction sign, so that's an S. Number 6, 3 daisy. So we need to turn daisy into the plural form of daisy. And how do we do that? Well, we go up to the top and we look. Y, change the Y to I and add ES. Berry turns into berries, IES. So daisy should be spelled D-A-I-S-I-E-S. Daisies. Times 3 daisy, which is daisies. So we're going to change the Y again to I and add an ES. So it's spelled D-A-I-S-I-E-S. Daisies. So if we have 3 daisies times 3 daisies, how many daisies do we have? 3, 6, 9. 9 daisies. 9 D-A-I-S-I-E-S. And what kind of math did we use? If we look at our sign, it says right here. So is that an addition sign with an A, a subtraction sign with an S, a multiplication sign with an M, or a division sign with a D? Let's look at it again. That's a multiplication sign, so we're going to make that an M. All right, number 7 was 8 sandwich. So this one ends with a CH. So let's see what the top has to say about a CH. So a CH is right here, and that says CH or X, add ES. Bus turns into buses. Cross turns into crosses. Brush turns into brushes. Church turns into churches. And box turns into boxes. So we need to add an ES. So sandwich should be spelled in the plural form SANDWICHES. That one we have to squish in too. And then we do it again. So we turn sandwich into sandwiches. So write really small. SANDWICHES. Sandwiches. Now if we have 8 sandwiches plus 4 sandwiches, how many sandwiches do we have? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 sandwiches. And this one we have to really squish in. SANDWICHES. And what kind of math did we use? What is this sign? Is that an addition sign with an A subtraction sign with an S, a multiplication sign with an M, or a division sign with a D? It's an addition sign. So we write A. All right, number 8 is 3 child. Child ends with an LD, so let's see what it says up here. Well, it doesn't have one that ends with an LD. So I know, because I'm a grown-up, that child turns into children. 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 And then this child turns into children. 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 So 3 children minus 1 child turns into how many? If you take 1 child away from 3 children, so it's 3, 2. 2 children. CHILDREN. 2 children. Now, did we use addition with an A, subtraction with an S, multiplication with an M, or division with a D? If we look at our sign, that's a subtraction sign, so that's an S. Number 9, 10 brush. Brush ends with an SH. So if we go up here and we look, SH is right here. SH, CH, or X, add ES. Bus turns into buses. Cross turns into crosses. Brush turns into brushes. Church turns into churches. Box turns into boxes. So brush turns into brushes. So we add an ES. BRUSHES. Brushes. And we do the same thing for this brush. BRUSHES. Brushes. 10 brushes divided by 5 brushes equals how many brushes? So if we have 10 brushes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 brushes divided by 5 . 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 2 brushes. So 2 B-R-U-S-H-E-S, 2 brushes. So what symbol is this? Is it for addition with an A, subtraction with an S, multiplication with an M, or division with a D? That's a division sign so it has a D. 10 for goose. So let's see if it has anything up here. Do we have a SE? We don't. So this is one of those, the spelling of the word changes. Man equals men, mouse equals mice. And because I'm a grown-up, I know that goose turns into geese. G-E-E-S-E. Geese. So we're going to turn this goose into geese. G-E-E-S-E. Geese. So if we have 4 geese plus 1 goose, how many geese do we have? So 4, 5. 5 geese. G-E-E-S-E. 5 geese. Now, what sign is this? Did we use addition with an A, subtraction with an S, multiplication with an M, or division with a D? This is an addition sign with an A. So 11, 3 mouse turns into what? Well, if we go up to the top, we see the spelling of the word changes. Man equals men, mouse equals mice. So it turns into mice. So M-I-C-E, mice. M-I-C-E, mice. So if we have 3 mice plus 1 mouse, how many mice do we have? 3, 4. We have 4 mice. 4 M-I-C-E, 4 mice. Now what is this? Is this an addition sign for an A, subtraction sign for an S, multiplication for an M, or division with a D? It's an addition sign, so it gets an A. Great job! Now we're going to move on to page 17. And this is still in the reading section. So first thing you do is put your name at the top of the page. So we're going to write, I'm going to put my name, and you can put your name. Spelling, more plurals. Remember, in some words, an F changes to a V to make the plural form. Example, life turns into lives. Wife turns into wives. Knife turns into knives. Leaf turns into leaves. Directions. Complete these sentences by writing the correct plural form of the given word. Also, circle the spelling errors and write the words correctly on the lines to the right. Leaf. Leaf turns into leaves. L-E-A-V-E-S. The leaves are dry and wrinkled. L-E-A-V-E-S. Leaves. Complete these sentences by writing the correct plural form of the given. Also circle the spelling errors and write the words correctly on the lines to your right. Oh, they're trying to trick us. Directions. Complete these sentences by writing the correct plural form of the given word. Also, circle the spelling errors and write the words correctly on the lines to the right. So, what word do you think is misspelled? And number 1, the, leaf, leaves, are, dry, and wrinkled. I think it's this one. So wrinkled should be spelled W-R-I-N-K-L-E-D. Wrinkled. Number 2, the knife glistened in the sun. So if we look up here, knives is spelled K-N-I-V-E-S. So K-N-I-V-E-S. Now, which word do you think is misspelled? These are words from the previous pages. The, knife, knives, glistened, in the sun. It's glistened. So if you guys are noticing, they are taking out the letters that seem silent. Because when we say wrinkled, we don't pronounce that W. We don't say wrinkled, we say wrinkled. And glistened has a T. So glistened should be spelled G-L-I-S-T-E-N-E-D. Glistened. Number 3, I think the child in this school are honest. And if we look, it's not that we look up here. We have to look from our prior stuff. So if we look on our page that we just finished, child turns into children. So child turns into children, which is C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N, children. And which word do you think is not spelled correctly? I think the child, children, in this school are honest. They didn't keep up with the silent stuff. Honest is spelled incorrectly. Honest should be spelled Honest. Honest. 4. The supply were stacked in the aisle. Supplies. So they don't have it on this page, but we did do supplies on this page. So supply turns into supplies, because if it has a Y, it changes to an I, and we add ES. So supplies, SUPPLIES. Supplies. Now, which word do you think is spelled incorrectly? The, supply, supplies were stacked in the aisle. And that's another one of those silent ones, because even though we say aisle, it's missing an A. So aisle should be spelled AISLE. Aisle. 5. Mouse rhymes with twice. So mouse is not up here at the top. It's on the previous page. And that's one of the words that the words change the spelling. So if we look over here, the spelling of the word changes. Man turns into men, and mouse turns into mice. So MICE, mice. And which word do you think is not spelled correctly? And actually, mice should be capital because it's the beginning of a sentence, so we're going to make a big M up there. Which word do you think is spelled incorrectly? Mice, mouse, rhymes with twice. So rhymes should be spelled RHYMES. It's a silly way of spelling it, but that's how they spell rhymes. Or that's how we spell rhymes. 6. Some people feel exhausted all their life. Life is up here, and life turns into lives. So we do LIFE to LIVES. So LIVES, lives. Now, which word do you think is spelled incorrectly? Some people feel exhausted all their lives. Which one is incorrect? Exhausted. And then we forgot to circle rhymes. So exhausted should be spelled EXHAUSTED. D, exhausted. Number 7 is the class were trying to gain more knowledge about Olympic athletes. So, the class, how do we get the multiple of class? It's not on the top of this page. Let's look at our previous page. We have class turns into classes. And the reason that class turned into classes is because if a word ends with an SS or a SH or a CH or X, add ES. Bus turns into buses. Cross turns into crosses. Brush turns into brushes. Church turns into churches. Box turns into boxes. And we know from our previous page that we turned class into classes with adding an ES. So we're going to do that again over here. The class turns into classes. So it's C, L, A, S, S, E, S. Classes. Now, which word is spelled incorrectly? The, class, classes, were trying to gain more knowledge about Olympic athletes. I think it would be knowledge. Because knowledge should be spelled Knowledge. Knowledge. They tried to trick us, but we don't have a D. All right, number 8. The kittens were wrestling in the bush. Bush ends with the SH. I don't think that's at the top of our page. Nope, not at the top of our page. So if we look on our previous page, do we have an SS? SH? We do. We turn bush into bushes. And why did we do that? We did that because it ends with the ES. For some words, instead of adding S or nope. It was this one. I made a boo-boo. So we have a SH, CH, or X, add ES. So bus turns into buses, cross turns into crosses, brush turns into brushes, church turns into churches, box turns into boxes. So from our previous page, brush is like bush with the SH at the end. Brush turns into brushes, so bush turns into bushes. So B, U, S, H, E, S. Bushes. Now, which word is spelled incorrectly? The kittens were wrestling in the bush. Bushes. Which one do you think it is? I think it's wrestling. It's one of those silents again. So wrestling should be spelled W-R-E-S-T-L-I-N-G. S T L I N G. Wrestling. 9. Jamie nearly broke his wrist trying to carry all those boxes. So, how do we make a plural of box? We make a plural of box by turning it into boxes. And we did that, or they did that, on the previous page. So we have box and boxes. So they added an ES. And the reason they added an ES is because when it ends with an X, add ES. Bus turns into buses. Cross turns into crosses. Brush turns into brushes. Church turns into churches. Box turns into boxes. So, box in the plural form turns into boxes. B-O-X-E-S. Boxes. Now, which of these words does not seem like it's spelled properly? Jamie nearly broke his wrist trying to carry all those boxes. Which word do you think it is? It's wrist. They tried to get us with the silent stuff again. So wrist has a W at the beginning. So wrist is supposed to be spelled W-R-I-S-T. Wrist. Number 10. Some kings had several wives who knew about each other. So, we're looking for the plural of wife. If we look at the top, we have a single wife, and then we have multiple wives. So it is W-I-V-E-S. So let's spell it together. W-I-V-E-S. Wives. Now, which word is spelled incorrectly? Some kings had several wives who knew about each other. I should be new, because while this is a way to say something is bright, shiny, and new, this is not the way to spell new, as in you knew something, like you had that information. So the way to spell new is K-N-E-W. New. 11. Daisy. Are not expensive. So how do we spell daisies in the multiple form? We look at the top of the page. No daisies up there. So let's look at our previous page. Our previous page, we turned a daisy into daisies. Why did we do that? If you look at the top, it says Y, change the Y to I and add ES. Berry turns into berries. So, daisy should be spelled D-A-I-S-I-E-S. Daisies. Now, which words are spelled incorrectly? Daisy, daisies, are not expensive. Which one do you think it is? I think it's not. Because they're talking about how they're not expensive. And so that means that that K should not be there. They tried to confuse us because we had to add a K over here. So if something is not expensive, you spell it N-O-T, not. 12. Write your name on both copy. So we had to find the multiple or the plural of copy. If we look at the top of our page, it doesn't have anything for copy. But if we look at our previous page, we have copy that we turned into copies. And why did we do that? If you look at the top, it says change the Y to I and add ES. So let's do that. So copies should be spelled C-O-P-I-E-S. Copies. Now, which word is used incorrectly? Write your name on both copies. So they tried to confuse us again, so it's right. Because this is spelled the right way. But when you have to write something with a pen or a pencil, you spell it W-R-I-T-E. This means your right hand, as in this hand. This means to write something down, like with a pen or a pencil. 13. We watched the monkey play on the swings for ours. So, how do we do the plural of monkey? If we look at the top of the page, it doesn't help. But if we look, it says monkey. It ends with a Y because we didn't do a monkey on this page. So if we go to the top of our page, Y, change the Y to I and add ES. So we'll come back over here. So monkeys should be spelled M-O-N-K-E-Y-S. Monkeys. So this is one of those funny spelling ones. So you can ignore what I said earlier because it ends with an E and a Y, and we were looking at just the Y. I was just trying to see if you guys were paying attention. So this is actually one of the words. The spelling of the word changes. So because I'm a grown-up, I know the monkeys is M-O-N-K-E-Y-S. All right. So which one of these words is spelled incorrectly? We watched the monkeys play on the swings for hours. So this hours is spelled like it belongs to someone, like it's ours, yours and mine, and we have this thing. The hours that they're talking about are time hours, and time hours are spelled H-O-U-R-S, hours, like on a clock, or how much time it takes to do something. 14. Do you like strawberry? Whole or sliced? So we need to find how to spell strawberry in plural form. So if we go to the top of the page, it doesn't have anything for us. And if we look at the previous page for an ending with a Y, we have copy turns into copies. So why does it do that? Because If it ends with a Y, change the Y to I and add ES. So let's do that. So strawberry should be spelled STRAWBERRIES. Strawberries. Now, do you like strawberries, whole or sliced? Which one is spelled incorrectly? They're trying to trick us again, because if you circle hole, this means there's a hole there, like there's a hole in the ground. But what they're talking about is a whole strawberry, as in a whole little strawberry. So we're talking about the whole strawberry, and the whole strawberry is a WHOLE, whole. All right, well, that's it. I hope you guys learned lots of fun stuff today, and now you know how to do plurals in different forms, whether it's over here or it's over here. So tomorrow we'll work on the next page. You guys have a fantastic day, and just remember that you are super duper 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 smart, and you're wonderful, and Michelle Fixit loves you, and if you're Isabel, then your mommy loves you, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I hope that you learned a lot, and now you get to go and play. Have a fantastic day, a fantabulous day, and I hope that everything was fun for you. I'll see you next time. Bye!